Hello there, Sir from 17 once again, introducing you to my Mass Effect 3 Insanity difficulty video walkthrough. This is the second part to the Rachni section of the game, and there is a challenging fight coming up, but I don't think it's this one, as I douse these husks with fire, but they just shake it off. This flamethrower has some of the most random damage ever. A little tip with it as well, if you go into adrenaline mode, it does a lot more damage if you spec that way, so that's what you always want to be doing. But in the previous video I was talking about things that I like. I was pretty much giving my 2 cents about this game. And I'm going to continue to do that, but I'm going to say this is the tough firefight, I believe. Because if you notice over there's a Ravager. He's going to really make you use your cover, because if you don't, he's going to slap you in the face and it's going to be good night. But at the same time, there's going to be those cannibals coming around to you throwing grenades, which can get a bit annoying. There's also going to be the little bugs. If they climb up towards you, they can take your shield, and if you get double teamed by something, you'll die, so be real careful. And I do believe that as you push forward in this section, a couple more of them spawn, so just be on your toes and just push forward intelligently. But little things that are there and here and all that stuff about this game. So you can't really talk to anybody on this game, which the RPG person in me that likes to talk to everybody, even if they have nothing interesting to say, is offended by that. But at the same time, they've streamlined it in a kind of interesting way. So what happens now is, you still can talk to certain people, but it's only people that you've either got something to give to, or you've got some kind of opinion to share. And they're pretty spaced out, and a lot of them are kind of pointless. But for the most, what will happen now is, you kind of overhear people. You listen in on people's conversation. You're a dirty little eavesdropper. And what this does is by listening to these conversations, it gives you bits of intel on possible places to visit, possible upgrades. It also gives you possible quests to start, or tells you, the location of certain treasures and things. And at first, I thought this was the most contrived, fucking ridiculous, retarded mechanic ever. Because I was literally stood next to these two couple that were arguing about bullshit that you would never say when there was a dude stood 2 foot from you staring directly in your face. And I know this is a game and we shouldn't, take it for granted, but it just seems stupid. It was like, do this because it's a game, and I thought it was daft, but the more I've done it, the more I think it's a kind of cool idea. And my only real criticism is there's a lot of people in some of these environments that you visit, especially on the Citadel. I haven't really gone to any places that rival the Citadel in interactivity yet, and there's only a handful of these conversations, and every time you come through these areas they do slightly differ, so you learn more about these characters, but it would be nice if pretty much everybody had this. Technically, I can understand maybe that would be too difficult to do, because especially if you've got subtitles on, because all that happens is you'd get like 10 different lines of dialogue on your screen, and it'd look like you'd just, done a skill shot on Bulletstorm with stupid words everywhere. And I wonder if it's something that was too technical to do, but at the same time, it kind of makes the environments feel a little bit dead. They look filled with things to do when you go there, and they're just kind of like husks. And I don't know, maybe I'm being picky, but that's something that I've definitely noticed. And I think I've noticed it because a lot of the side quests that I've done on this game so far have been very quick. None of them have been, like the loyalty missions from Mass Effect 2, which were pretty much like story missions, and it's almost like a step down from that quality, and I don't understand it. But there's been a lot of uproar about the DLC being on the disc as well, because the From Ashes stuff is already on there. And I haven't got that, I haven't got the Prothean character or anything along those lines, but it makes me wonder what the DLC plan is going to be like for this game, because I'm hoping it's going to be pretty extensive, but at the same time, I kind of like large pieces of content, so I didn't buy Katsumi, and I didn't buy Overload, or whatever it was called, on Mass Effect 2, and the reason for it is, I heard it was about 2 hours long, and it was expensive to fucking buy. So I only ended up buying the really big ones, like the Lair of the Shadow Broker, and I've heard that the smaller ones were really good content, but they were just a little bit short, and I'm hoping that this game has got much longer DLC, much more fleshed out, but to the same quality of those other ones. And I'm curious of what BioWare are gonna do, especially when you take into consideration a lot of the forums are banging on the ending, and I kind of find it funny that they're shitting on the ending, because there's potentially like 17 endings or something fucking stupid. So I know they're all going to be kind of similar, but who knows? Maybe they just got a bad ending. Because like I've played I've got 2 different endings so far, and both of them have been like I assume the badder endings, but I don't really have any context, and I've got to say I didn't mind the endings at all. These days with games, you never really get satisfied from an ending. Just look at Gears of War 3. There was about as much closure on that game as you know, as a fucking Halo game. They just facilitate more and more sequels. It's all they do. And we expected it. We expected more. Yet we still got betrayed. And the one thing I find just completely astounding about this game is because they take so much time and so much effort to establish a universe, to set up the canon of this space opera. The endings that I've seen so far, they've been a little bit vague. And for a game that has a codex that has like 10 fucking pages on the most obscure subject, a vague ending to a trilogy is not what people were expecting, and I think that's why a lot of them are getting angry. And it makes me wonder if there's going to be any post-ending content in the DLC that elaborate on a new direction. Because where does Mass Effect go from there? You know, it's a pretty definitive ending, some of them, and like I don't know if there's a really, really good ending where you get, you know, shit-hot awesome stuff and you practically turn into a god. I don't know. Maybe Anderson gets turned into a Reaper and you get to have a fist fight on top of another Reaper, Metal Gear Solid 4 style. Who knows? But I'll see you in the next video, anyhow, people, and you take care now.